This is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the new episode of Cats and Pudding. And today I have an awesome guest, Jeff Coby. He's like a renaissance man. He's done a lot. He's an ex-NBA player. Still playing for the NBA?
Overseas now.
Yeah. NBA and an author. And also a model, too, right? So he does all these he's like a trifecta. So welcome to the show, Jeff. I'm so happy you came.
Thank you.
I'm happy that you're here. You just have such a beautiful smile. I was just saying that he looks like Denzel Washington. He's so handsome. But you're handsome, though.
Oh,
you are.
Appreciate it.
Tell us about, give me your journey. Tell us about the NBA and tell us how that all started. Because that's what I'm sure everybody's dying to hear about as well.
Oh, yeah. It honestly was it was unexpected, but like it was weird because, it started during my first year playing professional in Barcelona. We had a crazy successful preseason. And then after that, the coach just stopped playing me. So I was just very confused at like what to do. So, I called my parents. I'm all the way over in Spain and my parents are in Miami. And my dad's like, work harder. And I'm just like, what?
Like do better.
I'm like,
what else was I supposed to do here?
Exactly.
How old were you?
I was just out of college, first year out of college. So I want to say like 23.
So you were a baby.
Yeah, I was a child.
Yeah.
And, I was like, I'm a starter at this time. And now I'm just not even seeing the court. So, it was just a constant battle, between the coach, but it ended up being like a political reason why I got benched. But it honestly like kind of worked out in my favor. Randomly after practice, I just Googled what do successful people do when going through a tough time. And this article from the Harvard Business Review came about and I read it and it talked about meditation and the most successful CEOs and leaders, how they implement this practice in their day-to-day. And I was confused. I was like, does this actually work? So I don't know. I just tried it. And for some reason, I kept getting this reoccurring vision during my practice of me playing in a huge arena with a jersey that had orange on it.
Oh my God.
It sounds crazy.
It's just like somebody, for you to do that, to even think to do that, most people are not going to let's see what we could do to it. That you would even think to pursue something like that, to say, look, what can do successful people do to, because a lot of people, if they feel depressed or whatever, or they feel like that they didn't have an opportunity, you were proactive on doing that.
Yeah.
So, and how did you started meditating, and this is you.
Yeah. I went
and conjured this
pretty much. I just
can
went.
You meditate for me?
Yeah,
get me
of course.
on
I'll teach you. It's not as hard as people think. I promise you. And it was just so weird because I just went on this journey of deep self-development. And over time I just felt a little bit more at peace with myself, although I was going through this time where I was a young, postgraduate, professional athlete, and I'm just what is going on? But yeah, I just kept really working on myself. And then my contract, I got bought out by another team in Spain, and I just continued on this journey. And, just the amount of time I dedicated towards myself versus getting caught up in the outside world so much. And lo and behold, it was just
wow.
Things just started falling into place.
So you just
a domino
met somebody,
effect.
or you just something. It was just an opportunity presented itself. How did it happen? You just.
So
I gotta hear this.
After the season, I went home, and it was time for me to go play for my national team because I'm 100% Haitian, and I went to go play for the national team, and after that, I had a pretty good season with them. But when my agent came to me, he was like, hey, we have a contract in the first league of Denmark. It just didn't feel right in my gut. My stomach was telling me
don't do it.
Yeah.
This is not right.
I spoke to the coach on the phone too, and I just wasn't convinced. It just felt like I was going to be another player.
Right.
So they sent the contract, and my agent at the time was kind of pressuring me to take it. And then
he wanted you to sign so you get paid, so he get paid.
Exactly.
Right? That's what happens.
And I just like, there was a moment I just felt nauseous. I was like,
no, I don't want to do this.
And it was crazy because in my journal I wrote like, make it to a first league, anywhere, because in Barcelona I was playing in the second league, in Spain, and then I just got this idea to just like message every and anybody I knew. So I was just like, hey, do you have an agent? Do you have any advice? Blah, blah. I'm double texting, triple texting. I made a list of like 150 people to like actively reach out to. And
that's proactive.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, very proactive.
Super persistent, because at this moment I was like, I don't want to go to
you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to take this, because how long was the contract? How long
it was for? It was for a year.
Yeah,
and that's quite some time.
I mean, a season in basketball is what, like in dog years, it's like 7 years normal time, right? Because there's only a certain amount of time that you're actually going to be able to play. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my like good friends.
I'm not calling you a dog.
No, I'll take it. Right? Because a season puts a lot of miles on your body. Like, it's strenuous. So one of my friends, who I had trained with, over the years, he actually gave me his agent's contact information. I spoke to him, and it was just like a sigh of relief. And pretty much I gave the team in Denmark a verbal commitment.
Yes.
But
there was no signature.
There's no signature. Yeah.
Well, only when you sign.
Yeah, that's when it's official. That's when it's official. And then my friend's agent was like, bro, don't do it. Like I felt like that my agent at the time was selling me short on my potential. So the new agent was like, don't do it. I promise you, you're in good hands. And my gut just trusted him, so I cut the contract up. I told him I couldn't do it. I signed with the new agency, and 4 days later, I'm training with the New York Knicks. Insanity.
Can you imagine? You would have been in Denmark with freaking wooden shoes playing on the basketball court, and now you have your orange jersey on. Yeah, it's so amazing.
Exactly. Like, I was
oh my God, that's a fabulous freaking story. Yeah. That is a fabulous story. That's great. That's like a miracle. Yeah, that's like lightning struck.
Yeah, literally.
Right?
Literally.
Can you please? Then I'm gonna need to know how you meditate, because I need lightning to strike me a couple of times.
Oh, of course.
And you feel that this is because of the meditation that you put like positive energy. So tell me about that. Tell me about how how it helped you. How you feel.
It definitely helped me in weight. Like, for example, when I was a kid, growing up, I was obese. So like, I know it's hard. It's hard to tell now. But yes.
And how tall are you?
Now I'm 6'9".
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But
you're like a tree.
Yeah,
it's
somewhat.
so tall.
Yeah, if we stand next to you, I can, you can cast a shadow. I can block out the sun from you. I got you. But in 5th grade, I was 180 pounds.
Wow.
Like, huge. And, back then, obviously, like, my brothers would mess with me a lot. So I had a little bit of anger issues. And, over time, like, those got resolved. But, when I got introduced to the meditation and just being a little bit more in tune to myself and, investing more into myself and my mental health and my headspace, I noticed that I just became like a lot calmer, and like just being able to like actually listen to people, have better conversations. And honestly, it just made me feel overall better. So, meditation, nature walks, journaling, just disconnecting from technology. It's done wonders for like my mental health and my overall well-being, that I'm just eternally grateful for it.
Is there a person that you follow, or somebody that you listen to help you meditate, or you just kind of did this on your own? Is that like a specific, maybe a book?
Yeah. So I was just like a madman, like researching everything, like from the Jay Shetty's to the Wim Hof with like the breath work. Like I was just looking at every and anything and just trying like different types of meditations and different levels and like for example, like some meditations would be 5 minutes, some would be like a little bit deeper into like the 20 to 30 minute. I went to a couple like sound bowl things, the like classes.
What Tina Turner used to do that with the what is that? What was that? The Buddhist.
Yeah,
right? The Buddhist.
Exactly.
Did you follow that? Did you follow that type of religion or no? Or is it just this is just strictly not religious? It's just meditation.
Yeah. So okay. I'm naturally Catholic.
Me too.
But lovely. Yeah, I see the
Yes,
cross.
I see yours
Yo, we
too.
literally have the same charms.
And you got the hands of God, and I got the evil eye.
Yeah, of course.
See?
Gotta stay protected.
I love it. We got it. We're on the same wavelength. So the meditation. So how many minutes a day do you now like meditate?
Now I'm probably depends on like what my schedule is looking like, but anywhere from like 10 to 20 minutes.
And that's it. That's all it takes.
Literally.
And what do you do? Let's say how do you start your meditation? Just sit in a quiet room? Are you chanting? Are you just thinking? Are you just? Is it just like you said, a walk? What would be your like when you're home if you can't go outside and it's snowing? What would you do?
I would sit in like probably my living room, and then just like focus on like one thing, and just like calm myself down, control my breathing. And then pretty much as, I'm getting a little bit more in tune to the present moment, I'll close my eyes and then I'll do some breath work and then focus on the breath. And then after that, I'd let my mind just wander for a little bit and then I'll bring it back to the breath. And I do that a few times. And just by doing that, like when you're focusing on the breath and then you let your mind wander, you get like little snippets of like whatever your mind wants to think of. And to me, it's like, okay, take notes of the reoccurring things, take notes of the things that like make me feel some type of way, and also take notes of like the positive stuff. And then after that, I'll just go and journal, reflect. And then now it just roots me into having more intention for my day.
Do you usually, I mean, sometimes, do you always do it in the morning or sometimes you can't get to it in the morning? Or
yeah, I mean, I'm human. Like, I try to do it in the morning, but like if
But you feel much better when you're doing it in the morning because at the end of the day, you just want to like,
exactly. So, I mean, I'm human. Sometimes I don't do it in the morning, but like I really try to at least before like 5 p.m. And, days where I have to focus, like heavy focus, then it's like, 2 to 3 times a day.
Well, I think that's amazing because you're a successful person. And I mean, I don't meditate, but I think I'm going to start by your story because maybe I'll be playing for the New York Knicks. I mean, seriously. I might be a runway model after that.
You can do anything you want.
I don't know about that. But I do know, like, I love the beach, and I feel like when I'm at my house by the beach, that calms me. And I feel like that in the morning, when I'm there, especially, I open my door, I take some breaths in, and I just focus on what my surroundings.
Beautiful.
And I should be doing it for longer, but even that few minutes, it makes me feel better just by being there. Like, it makes me feel better when I'm there by the water because it's just, I feel like it's cleansing. So I got to start taking some of your advice.
Absolutely.
And is this what you talk about in your book, because you did write a book, which is the next topic we're going to talk about. And this is amazing. I mean, and you have your jersey on. So your number was 18?
Yeah.
Do you play that number all the time?
I normally do 1. Yeah, 1 or 3, but it just happened that was 18.
It's 18.
Yeah.
So tell me what your book is about. And is it about the meditation? Yeah,
so pretty much it's about how meditation just put me on this journey of, self-development and, how I went from, I guess, I went to Columbia University here in New York. And it's not really like common for, like athletes from there to go to the NBA or to really go. It's
not an athletic school.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's more for brains than exactly.
Well, you're very smart. So. So you're a smart basketball player.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm not saying the basketball players are stupid, but They're not scholars. So
Yeah.
what did you study in school?
So I double majored. I majored in art history and sociology.
Smart guy.
Smart
Guy.
I try.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're so smart guy. You got a great story. Keep telling me. I want to hear it.
So, I speak about that, and also just like growing up with some confidence issues, and I really want to echo the idea of, confidence is like it's a skill, and it takes work, in which like you have to be willing and able to put in the work in order to feel good in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So because like when you look around, there's like there's the whole like scope of mental health, lack of self-confidence, self-awareness has become so high. And, I'm passionate about mental health because I've been on the other side of things. And I want people to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, in which all it takes is just being intentional with your steps and just walking towards it and working diligently.
Why do you think that is, that this is what's happening at this time? I mean, do you have some...
Ooh, it could be the rise of social media. It's, because now, like, you look around, a lot of people are glued to their phones, and,
People are becoming soulless.
Yeah, it's hard to, be somebody of substance when you're just constantly feeding yourself information that's, like, curated,
yes,
by somebody else. It's like sometimes you need to put that aside and look in the mirror and then ask yourself, who do I want to be? Who do I want to become?
I want to be you. I want to be you.
Plot twist. I want to be you.
No, it's amazing, and I mean, because I think your generation is I'm just watching you're 30.
I just turned 30.
30,
yeah.
right? So you're just 30. So
Yeah.
like I have shoes older than you. I always say that. But and my oldest daughter is older than you. So but I see that with this generation, it's just like everything is just so superficial.
Yeah.
And I feel like that a lot. It's just lack of substance, and I think that's why people are so unhappy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I think that's why there's so much animosity with people right now,
Yeah.
because there's no depth and people are not truly understanding each other.
Yeah.
And I think
agree.
that's why there's a lot of conflict and there's a lot of,
sure.
things that are going on. Like, so I agree with you, and I think that social media is a big problem.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think people got to turn it off once in a while. Even myself, I know.
For sure.
And now I do that at night. I shut it off. I don't pick up my phone after a certain time.
Beautiful.
I used to be glued to my phone, and I'm like, you know what? It makes me feel better at night. So I'm like, you know what? I can't talk to you after this time.
Yeah,
and I don't
move.
feel bad anymore. Like if I don't answer somebody, I'm like, I'm sorry. I need time now with my kids, with my family, and quiet, and just to decompress, because you have to.
Yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
to. You can't, because how are you going to keep going on this constant merry-go-round and this cycle?
Of
so.
course. Bound to
I mean,
go
I'm a
crazy.
hyper person. You don't seem you seem pretty calm.
I'm calm now. You see me on the court? It's a different story.
I would be afraid. You're the type of person who's calm, but then if they snap, you just want to run away from them. Like, you're just petrified. Like that. Me, I'm like, but you, I could see, like, oh, I don't want to mess with you. Like, because I know you're the one, if you snap, you snap. That's it. That's it. You don't want you to snap.
Mm-mm.
So you do a 10 to 20 minutes a day, and then do you go on like retreats or anything? Would you feel like do you do like any other activities outside of with everything else you do?
Yeah.
You're writing. Do you do things like that to like go on like pilgrimages or anything like that?
So I'm the type of person, like, if I'm curious about something, I want to learn from the source. So obviously, yoga, which is good, helps with like the mobility, breath work. But my last season, I was playing in Tokyo, and I'm like, there's monks here. There's people who are really, really into, the things that I want to learn more about. So it was like towards the middle of my season. We had a few days off, and I went to the mountains to this. I went to the mountains to this temple, and I had to sit down with two monks, and we just had an awesome conversation, and it was just like,
They talk. Not all of them are allowed to talk. Right?
No.
Don't they take vows of silences?
No,
I just said sciences,
Yeah.
vows of silences. I just
Yeah.
said
I mean, one of them only spoke Japanese, so that was But thank God for technology, because I was
God.
translating Google Lens, and the other one spoke English and Japanese, so that was awesome. And yeah, we had a great
That's
conversation.
amazing. That what a great experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever go to like Arizona or anything like people say when like they go to like the it's Grand Canyon, like they get this
yeah.
like
That's over in Vegas.
is Grand Canyon in Vegas? I thought it was Arizona, isn't it?
Grand Canyon?
I don't know.
Definitely is in Vegas.
Arizona, I was right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so, but they when they go there and they do like this, it's like a cleanse or whatever. I
Yeah.
always wanted, especially a lot of yogi people, like yoga people. They have places that you can go to, and then they take you to near the Grand Canyon, and they say it's very cleansing, and because it's like the beginning of the earth and all this stuff. So I don't know. That's where I would like to go, because I think that would be so free. I don't know. I just feel like it would be so amazing, first of all, to see, and so freeing. I don't know why. I would get that
I would
feeling.
just say go to an island. I mean, that's what I do. I spend like 2 weeks
anytime when I go to an
and-
island, I usually, I used to, not anymore, but I used to drink a lot, so I would be unconscious, from drinking, so and have a hangover, so that wouldn't help me. No.
Oh.
But yeah, the beaches, I love the beach. I think the beach is a very cleansing area. All kidding aside, that I think I agree with you. I think the seawater and the ocean and the sand, it's just it's like a very cleansing feeling, and I think it's great for body and soul.
Of course.
So I love it. You're right. I do, and I find myself that I feel the most calmest when I'm at where I'm at my beach house. I do love it there.
Sure.
I should make sure that should be there every day, just getting up in there, so I feel better in the morning.
Right.
But do you have now your book? Is this about your journey, or is it about the meditation, or is it just about your life, or all three?
So there's just themes that I just really wanted to echo throughout like parts of my journey. So the way I wrote it was to kind of like take some highlights, take some pretty dark times, and take some like full circled, moments where like readers can like see how you started here and then it came back and it's there.
Full circle.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I just take bits and pieces. Like, for example, there's a part of like skydive, like the beginning starts off with like skydiving and, become like not, how would I say this? Like falling short of something, but it's like it was kind of like
you don't want to fall short when you're skydiving.
Oh,
right?
no, of course. Yeah. No, so like one part is skydiving, because I feel like a lot I wrote that because, growing up I had fear.
Right.
And when you conquer the fear, you kind of look fear straight in the eye and say, I'm no longer scared of you anymore. But, the way my dad kind of taught me about what fear was, he would say, fear is what you see when you take your eyes off of the goal. And
wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing quote. I love that.
Yeah. And in that moment, my goal was survival and to have fun.
Well, whatever you're doing, I mean, you have aspired. Look what you've accomplished. I mean, on the NBA, writing a book. You're an intelligent man. You have a good education. I mean, you have come full circle in your life. Yeah. Right. So where do you see yourself going now in the next 5 years, let's say?
Oh, 5 years. Yeah. Jeez.
That's like a job interview question.
Yeah, literally.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years? Ooh. That's a hard question.
Where would you like to see yourself in 5 years?
I would definitely like to, help other people write their books, because that took me 5 years, and like within that time period, I wrote 2 other books. But this just made the most sense, you know, when I spoke to my advisor. But I would definitely want to help, you know, some type of philanthropy, help people tell their stories, you know, in an impactful way where it's not just like, this is my story. Like the way I wrote these chapters is like from each chapter, you'll be able to learn something from it, where you can take notes, where you can take your highlighter and highlight it and be like, how can I apply this to my life? And I think that would be awesome. Maybe still be playing by 5 years.
Well, you have a great, listen, I think you're awesome. You have such a good energy about you. You're wonderful. You like actually make me calm that you're here. Like, you have great energy. It's like, we gotta go to a yoga class together.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't do hot yoga though, right?
Hot yoga is amazing.
You love hot yoga.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't like it at first because I couldn't breathe the first time I was in there, and I pretty much wanted them. I was like breaking down the door, and they're like, "No, you can't leave." I go, "No, I need to leave right now." But you know what? It was the fear of that hot. No, they will, you know, calm, relax, breathe, and I got through it. But I didn't like it at first. But now I love it. Now it's like, wow, I have to start going back. I haven't had a chance to, so maybe we'll take a class together.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Of course.
I gotta get some more of your tips on the side about the meditation.
I got
so
you.
We'll talk about it. And everybody, check out Coby's Jeff's book. Please, I have to read it now. So now that I have a copy, I have to read the whole book because I want to see. I want to see some of your journeys.
Hey.
So check it out. I'm so proud of you. I hate to sound condescending, but it's just because I don't want to sound that way. But you're younger than me, but I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
And let everybody know where they can find you and where to get the book, and where to watch you where you're still playing.
Perfect. You could find me on Instagram at Jeff Coby. It's just in my name. Twitter JC4083, and you can find A Mindful Journey on Barnes and Nobles or Amazon. And I highly recommend you pick up a copy because I think it's a good book.
I think it's going to be a great book. I can't wait to read it.
Perfect.
Jeff, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And everybody, please watch us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. Make sure you watch the full episode, not just the shorts, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Everybody, have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you didn't hit the microphone either, and you're so much bigger than I was. I thought I was going to hit the microphone all day and knock it over.